KDKA. From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Iran saying it's reclosed the Strait of Hormuz just days after the U.S.-Iran ceasefire deal. Iranian media says this is in response to Israel's continued strikes in Lebanon. ABC's Selena Wang.
That framework of a deal signed between the U.S. and Iran stipulates that all hostilities must end. That would include between Israel and Lebanon. But the problem is that neither Israel nor Lebanon were party to that deal.
But does Israel want this deal? Executive Vice President at the Quincy Institute, Trita Parisi.
If there is a deal between the United States and Iran, and if the sanctions are lifted, from their standpoint, this will be a huge strategic defeat for Israel. Israel would prefer for this war to continue.
Meanwhile, Iran says it's sending a delegation to Switzerland for talks with the U.S. On the American side, J.D. Vance flew to Geneva Saturday and will be joined by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner at the negotiating table. Dangerous flash flooding across the south as the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur continue to unleash torrential rain. A state of emergency in Mississippi.
Thunderstorms pounding parts of an already soaked Mississippi, swamping roads and flooding neighborhoods, raising the threat for even more high water. Mississippi's governor warning the state is far from in the clear.
There's actually an elevated flooding risk in virtually every county in our state.
In San Antonio, Texas, first responders carrying out multiple water rescues, waterways there overflowing.
Team USA looking ahead after a hard-fought win against Australia. ABC's Christian Cordero.
Fans packed watch parties from coast to coast, with the host, Emerald City, decked out in red, white, and blue.
2-0. It was amazing. It's like we knew it was going to happen.
I came from Florida. It was electric. I would say that it's like the loudest that I've heard a sporting event in a long time.
You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the Secret War on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
Researchers in North Carolina say a native beetle species is increasingly damaging blueberry crops in the southeastern part of the state, adding to challenges already posed by ongoing dry conditions. Researcher Kenneth Gearset.
It's kind of surprising that we're seeing them shifting to blueberries. It's been putting a lot of stress on these bushes.
Blueberry farmer Dragos Pampas says there's not much that he can do to fight the pests.
We just hope that the sunshine and the rain will provide our berries for our clients.
Now to the deadly fire at a resort in the Caribbean Friday.
At least one tourist was killed when a fire broke out at a resort in the Dominican Republic. It all unfolded at the Viva Dominicus Beach Resort, with fire crews working for 5 hours to contain the blaze. The woman killed has been identified as 46-year-old Francesca Valentino from Italy. More than 1,600 people had to be evacuated. Wyndham Hotels, which owns the resort, said the location will remain closed until further notice. The cause of the fire is not known at this point. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
An amazing story of survival in the Pacific.
A fisherman lost at sea for a week is back on dry land. A New Zealand Air Force crew spotted him adrift in a small boat near the Cook Islands, waving his arms in a paddle for help. He had set out on a fishing trip last week and was reported missing when he didn't return. Rescuers say he had very limited survival supplies.
That's ABC's Stephanie Ramos. I'm Dave Packer, ABC News.
You know the feeling. It's 2 a.m. You're awake, running the numbers in your head. Payroll's coming. A client hasn't paid. Costs just went up. And you're thinking, how am I going to make this work? That's where LendSeek comes in.
That was me. I had payroll in 3 days and money tied up in receivables. I couldn't wait weeks for a bank. I went to LendSeek, and within minutes, I saw real funding options. They were clear, upfront, no games. By the next day, the money was in my account, payroll went out, crisis over.
LendSeek uses AI to match your business with the right funding, up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours.
With LendSeek, it's not just funding, it's knowing you're covered when things get tight.
If you've been in business for at least 1 year with at least $500,000 annual revenue, apply today. No upfront costs, no prepaid penalties. Because in business, waiting isn't an option. Start ready, stay ready with LendSeek. Apply at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Some sun early on will give way to clouds this afternoon. Expect a high of 77. For tonight, clouds continue to build with periods of rain and thunderstorm late, low 59. For tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms continue, high 73. But sunshine returns Tuesday with pleasant and less humid conditions, high 77. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Nicole Joniak, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli.
Once again, we are honoring dads on this Father's Day weekend. Men with children who are growing or have left the nest, and those with grandchildren. This is our time to express gratitude for fathers. It is also time to remember fathers no longer with us and dads who are our heroes. So here's to the fathers of all ages and those who have left us. Men who are dependable, involved, compassionate, honest, playful, industrious, and just great human beings. Happy Father's Day.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
So a brawl involving 40 to 50 young people broke out late Friday night in Market Square, leading to the arrest of 5 adults and 4 juveniles. Pittsburgh police said the fight began at about 9:15 p.m. Officers ended the fight using pepper spray. At the time, police said there were hundreds of people in Market Square fighting, and it continued to break out among groups of young people, and the evening simply progressed with more fights. And as they escalated, including assaults on officers and the confiscation of 3 guns, police decided to clear Market Square, and it was accomplished by early yesterday morning. So, Father's Day, adults, juvenile. Who's the adult in the room, I ask your Pratt Pack on this Father's Day? And it gets back to the major question. Where are the parents? Where is the discipline? How is it that it has turned out to be the wild, wild west in that particular historic part that we love in downtown Pittsburgh? You know, everybody complains about these cities that are dwindling and basically evaporating as far as population is concerned. Let's just be bold and make a statement here that somebody needs to make. It's just too violent. I mean, you want to take your family into downtown to go to that historic place that I have been to more times than I can even think, and I still love it and embrace it. But when you hear stories like this that not are just one and done, but multiple stories, if that doesn't make one simply say, I need to rethink about going to Pittsburgh, I don't know what would make you rethink. That should basically seal the deal. Look, I don't want to be the person that is saying don't go to downtown Pittsburgh because that's not what I want. But I want, and I'm not looking at the police to solve every single problem. They're doing everything they can. As you even heard, officers were accosted in that fight doing their job. But we need some parents and dads to step up. And listen, we're going to talk today about Father's Day and about discipline and about the way it once was, and I think the way it needs to be again, where fathers need to basically take charge, stand up, nurture, love, and pick up when need be someone's emotions, but at all times, no matter what, make it very clear, I'm in charge, because somebody needs to be in charge. Stories like this have to stop. You know, Pittsburgh, we all remember, someplace special, the most livable city. And I'm still wondering, can it be or is it But I do know one thing, it won't be if stuff like this continues. So, where are the parents, especially Dad, as we salute Father's Day? Get in charge and stop the madness. Yeah, I must tell you, as I was thinking about Father's Day early this morning when I woke up, I was thinking about my dad, and I was looking at his picture as I was getting ready to leave from a few years ago, just prior to his death in July of the year 2000. And I'm going to tell you right now, my dad would have been the first to say when reading that story in the Post-Gazette or hearing about it on KDKA radio, if I would have ever caught you doing something like that, he always made that connection to any story that had youth involved getting in trouble. Even when I was an adult, he would say, listen, if I ever caught you getting into a brawl like that, there'd be you-know-what to pay. It's simple. Somebody has to simply step up and say it's got to stop. Police can only do so much. So let's kind of dovetail off of that this morning in the first hour of the program. How strict was your dad growing up? I'm curious, and it doesn't matter whether you're my age, a little younger, a little older, or maybe you're one of those early birds that every once in a while gets the worm and calls me because they're up, maybe for that 2 o'clock feeding that is carried over a few more hours. You're in your 20s or 30s. Your dad, discipline. We talk about the loving dad, the helpful dad, the nurturing dad, that dad that played catch with you in the backyard. Look, that's all fantasy, right? We love our dad, and our dad did do a lot of that stuff, and our dad was at times a very fun, loving guy. But at most part, when you were growing up, Dad was simply saying, you better not. I said don't do it. What did I tell you? Look, do you think that I at times even wanted to question my children who really did walk a straight line? But there were times when I had to lean back in because it was my responsibility to be a father, to be that voice in the room. You see, it's the good cop, it's the bad cop. It's mom and dad working together side by side, making sure every step of the way, it's kind of like a cattle drive. You're out there, you're working, it's dusty, you're thirsty, it's hard. And every once in a while, part of that herd goes astray. And your job is to get them back on track because that's what you do, is it not? It's what I've been doing my whole life. It's what my father did before me and my grandfathers before him. So on this Father's Day, let's take a different approach other than, hey, let's get Dad a hanky or a case of beer or a fifth of his favorite whiskey, and let's talk about what dads are all about. If you are blessed to be a dad and you get that opportunity to be one, as my dad told me after the birth of my first son, as he gave me a hug and gave me a firm handshake, he leaned into my shoulder and whispered in my ear, again, congratulations, but your life is no longer your own. Good luck. We're all counting on you. And it's never stopped. And I'm pushing on that 7th decade, and it still hasn't stopped. It's tiring, it's weary, but it's the greatest gift that anybody could have. But as long as I'm here, long or short of it, as I am in that twilight of my life, I'm going to do everything I can as a father to be supportive. But at all times, even though they are a whole lot younger, a whole lot stronger, and even in some cases, because of technology, a whole lot wiser, I will give them advice that they may not want to hear. But it's my responsibility to at least add an ingredient or two. And I can tell you right now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if Robert Eugene Pratt, my father, was here on this earth today, he would definitely be making his opinion felt. And he would be reminding his grandchildren, such as Robbie and Tyler and Eva, the exact same thing. Remember, respect everyone. Do not do anything to anyone unless they give you a reason or you have to protect yourself. But this stuff of these brawls breaking out in downtown Pittsburgh, a week or two apart, gunplay, confiscated guns, police being attacked, and adults in the mix? Who even goes to Market Square to gather to fight? Where's the mentality? What's the thought process here? I got lots to talk about, including Iran, measles cases on the rise, in Pennsylvania looking at vaccines again. Going to get to as much as we can. But what about your father? What type of disciplinarian was he? 866-391-1020. As always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM, AM 1020, KDK or on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, but you can also watch us online with our KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to KDKRadio.com and click on KDK Radio Livestream, and now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page to watch everything we are doing in the studio. And if you know someone in your community who has done something extraordinary in the past year, nominate them now at KDKRadio.com to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes event. Don't forget, phone number right now, 866-391-1020, and NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows is a click away. Email us instant access, KDKRadio.com. It's your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
News Radio KDKA Sports.
Sports is brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Even Paul Skeens on the Hill couldn't save the Pirates as they lost to one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, the Colorado Rockies. Again, the final 2-1. They'll wrap up their series in the Mile High City. 3:10 first pitch, 93-7 the Fan. Yesterday, in the World Cup, Netherlands over Sweden 5-1. Germany beat the Ivory Coast 2-1. And it was also in some late action, Ecuador and Curacao battling to a 0-0 draw, while Japan beat Tunisia 4-0. Now, today's schedule has Spain taking on Saudi Arabia, Belgium against Iran, Uruguay against Cape Verde, and New Zealand takes on Egypt. As far as the Riverhounds are concerned, in some soccer of local interest, they battled to a 0-0 draw with the Hartford Athletic. And through 3 rounds at the U.S. Open, Wyndham Clark is at 7 under, and in a Group 6 shots back at 1 under, includes the world number 1, Scotty Scheffler. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
No use denying it. Old Man Winter's been hard on our homes. If it's drafty windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, or that dreaded leaking roof, PJ Fitzpatrick can take care of your home repair project before it turns into costly structural damage. Don't keep putting it off. This is the best time to call the repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. They'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market Team when they discuss favorite burger recipes. It's the Coons Cooking Hour presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation. Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-746-3737. That's 800-746-3737. 800-746-3737.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, before we get to your phone call, so I have a lot of people a little upset because I've been pushing hard on Donald Trump, our honorable president. He is my president. And I love the fact that when you send an instant access or do something as far as message me on social media, that I'm at least making you think. And keep them coming, okay? Because that's my job. That's why they pay me, all right? That's why I do what I do. But with this latest news concerning now that the Straits of Hormuz have been closed again and Iran is making demands again, aren't you tired of being bullied? So are you telling me you just want to continue to give your lunch money and let them wait for you at the bus stop and just pulverize you? Aren't you tired of Iran, this regime, doing what they're doing? Don't you want our president to take a hard line and finish the job? That's all I'm saying. I'm supporting the military. I'm supporting the flag. I'm supporting our country. I'm supporting humanity. I've always supported this president when it comes to business and many things that he's doing, including what he tried to do in Iran. But I'm simply upset because it feels as though this guy who's made his reputation on punching the biggest guy in the room is starting to get soft. And right now you cannot, because what we are seeing is a good example of it. Iran is bullying America. Iran is bullying America. And if you don't see that, you got an issue. You got a real issue. So how many of you, show of hands, with this latest news, ABC News Radio just broke it. I blogged about it an hour ago when I got here. They're now saying they're going to close the Straits of Hormuz. I mean, what are we, a giant yo-yo? I mean, what would your dad on this Father's Day have told you? I can tell you what my dad did when I got jumped getting off the bus as a young man. He said, I'm going to get some iodine out, put a Band-Aid on it, and you know what you need to do. And I strategically went to each of the houses who did what they did, and before they got out the door, I let them have it. Am I saying that I'm all about violence? No. But I can tell you right now, if you do not stop the bully will never stop. And Iran, as I've been telling all of you for the longest time, they're going to do this again and again and again and again. I just can't imagine where we are in America today to where all of you think it's okay, this type of behavior. You really just accept this type of behavior as though there's nothing wrong with it. Well, I'm going to school you right now, in the time that I have, before we get to the news at the bottom of the hour, on where this is going to lead us. So this is Father's Day, right? And we think of the father of our country, George Washington. We think of the Revolution, the sacrifice, and what they dared to do against the king and England. In the secrecy, they decided to revolt, a revolution that went on for years, and so many people died and starved to death and froze to death, and the elements were absolutely atrocious, but they never did stop. Never. Until Cornwallis and company said, no more. But guess what? They were moving forward. They took a stance against the big bully at the time. They took a stance. We do not take stances in America. We have been backpedaling for generations. We have never stopped backpedaling, and we're going to continue to backpedal unless we as Americans stand tall and deliver. And if there was ever an opportunity for us in this nation to be tough, is now. If not for you, how about for our country? How about for the people who matter? The children that live on your street, go to that local elementary school. Is this what you want to show them? That whenever you get pushed on, you just simply back up. And if they push, you continue to back up. You have to teach your children you got to take a stance. Nobody wants violence. I mean, look what's happening in our society. We're backing down from the regime, the ragtag regime that really should be like a pebble under our thumb. And what's happening in this country? What did I open up with? Another massive brawl in downtown Pittsburgh. We're fighting amongst each other, but we won't fight the real enemy. This is not the United States of America anymore. It's the divided states of America. And as I did yesterday, and I thought rather well, we're going to do more timelines in our country's history. And coming up very shortly in the next week or so, we're going to do the deep dive on why Pittsburgh, when Grand Street was Wall Street, when names like J.P. Morgan, Henry Clay Frick, Andrew Carnegie, and George Westinghouse were revolutionizing and changing the world. But how they could not have done it if it wasn't for the citizens of Pittsburgh, some born here, some who came here, and how they did, no matter what, move forward. How many times could they have simply said, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to stop. They worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week, in conditions that you and I wouldn't last 15 minutes in. The grit of America is crumbling and melting in front of our very eyes. I can't believe how many. And I was so excited to get some of this feedback because I'm like, I made my point. I got under their skin. That's exactly what I want to do. Get under your skin and make you start to feel the blood racing through your veins and saying, I'm mad as you know what, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm sick of some ragtag government that we should have destroyed and defeated, and they should have been out of power in a matter of days, and the Iranian people should have been given the hands and the keys to their own future. And if it failed, so be it. We'd rethink it. We'd help them. And when you have that kind of money, not a deficit, but trillions in cash flow, not 38 trillion in debt like America, the big brother to the world, you're going to have an opportunity to fail on many occasions. And guess what? With the Iranian people running the show in Iran, they're not being killed and slaughtered by that regime. Not only are we giving this regime that murdered 35,000 of their own people a chance to continue to stay in charge, but once again, they're dictating to us. The president, yes, on his 80th birthday, the Strait of Hormuz will open again. We will celebrate with this huge UFC fight on the lawn, and we'll be getting ready for our 250th birthday. So a week later, Iran shuts down the Strait of Hormuz again, and that UFC fight, there was a massive threat that some mother who had the courage to rat out her own son saved how many lives? So once again, we're fighting each other, trying to kill each other, while we have a regime that should be like a little fly on our shoulder that we simply flick off, telling us what to do. If that doesn't irate you, I don't know what does. And with this latest story developing, again, ABC News Radio, you heard it, they're shutting down the Straits of Hormuz again after we joyously say, it's open for business. Gas prices come down. So what does this mean? As I wake up on a Monday morning getting ready for my weeknight show, are we going to be talking about the price of gasoline back up over $5 as we head to celebrate our 250th birthday? And by the way, Mom, I'd love to come back to the farm that I grew up on in the heartland of America, but I can't come because I can't afford the gasoline. So you're going to have to celebrate this once-in-a-lifetime 250th birthday with all the friends and family and relatives without your beloved child, because I've got mouths to feed, and I just can't afford that right now. It's disgusting that we are basically puppets to this ragtag regime. You should be saying, like I'm saying this Sunday morning, what would your dad do? Your dad, that many of them fought in places like Vietnam and Korea and World War II, to give you the opportunity to live in the most powerful free nation in the world? And we're letting some just afterthought, wannabe, nothing government tell us, America, we'll let you know when we're ready. Don't call us, we'll call you. And by the way, Mr. President, you think the straits are open? Well, you know what? You still have the Israeli Defense Forces in Lebanon, so guess what? We're shutting it off. I would stomp on them. I would stomp on them with all my might. I would finish them. I would simply tell the Iranian people, we got your back, storm the palace or do whatever you do. Get rid of them. I want a coup. Go. They're killing innocent people, and they're threatening us every day. Sooner or later, you have to take a stance. Sooner or later, you have to take a stance. All right, we're going to get to your calls in a moment. 866-391-1020. Brian Carant, Secure Money Advisors, and his team will be answering questions on Tuesday, June 23rd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. regarding your retirement planning. Mark it on your calendar. The latest on the Straits of Hormuz and much more. ABC News Radio coming up in just a couple of moments. And then we're back. We got some lines available. 866-391-1020.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. required. Vacation costs add up fast. The rental, the gas, the groceries. What about the stuff you actually want to spend money on? So before you book through a third-party site, visit SWAC Vacations directly. When you book direct, you skip the platform fees and keep more money in your vacation budget. Explore family-friendly vacation rentals at beaches, lakes, and mountains you love. Visit swacvacations.com, SWACK Vacations. Less wasted on fees, more saved for memories.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much anger these days. You know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at KDKRadio.com. It's where we will find a way to help you.
Presented by UPMC Health System, Bill DeLuceni and Associates, Cousins Roofing, Siding and Decks, and by Harold Shepley and Associates. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Iran saying it's reclosed the Strait of Hormuz just days after the U.S.-Iran ceasefire deal. Iranian media says it's in response to Israel's continued strikes in Lebanon. ABC's Selena Way.
That framework of a deal signed between the U.S. and Iran stipulates that all hostilities must end. That would include between Israel and Lebanon. But the problem is that neither Israel nor Lebanon were party to that deal.
Both Iran and the U.S. sending delegations to Geneva for negotiations. The U.S. side will include Vice President J.D. Vance. Dangerous flash flooding across the south as the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur continue unleashing torrential rain. A state of emergency in Mississippi. San Antonio, Texas. First responders carrying out multiple water rescues there. American soccer fans are turning their attention to Los Angeles. Thursday, Team USA will play a knockout round against Turkey. America notched its second win in Seattle Friday. This is ABC News.
Toten's Diner in Wexford is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you want a great breakfast with big portions, this is your place for sure. With a friendly staff and Jim and Joanne Toten running the show, you feel like you're at home. Stop into Toten's Diner and see for yourself.
It's the City of Pittsburgh's Independence Day celebration. Join us in downtown Pittsburgh July 4th, beginning at 4 p.m. for free family fun. In Gateway Center, you'll enjoy music on the Sargent Electric Solar Stage and tasty treats at the People's Natural Gas Food Truck Corral. Inside Point State Park, you'll discover more music, food, and holiday activities, including the True Leave Veterans Wellness Center. The day's main attraction, fireworks, begins at 9:35 and is heard exclusively on 100.1 FM KDKA Radio. For details, go to KDKARadio.com.
Your home should be your happy place. Hi, this is Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. If you're sitting around your house, you see the faded colors and peeling paint, I got to get this done. We'll get it done right the first time with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. I love that. Get a free estimate, all the details, easy to understand, and it will brighten up your home. Then it will be a happy place. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Some sun early on will give way to clouds this afternoon. Expect a high of 77. For tonight, clouds continue to build with periods of rain and thunderstorm late, low 59. For tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms continue, high 73. But sunshine returns Tuesday with pleasant and less humid conditions, high 77. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Nicole Joniak, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, it's the weekend. And it's a great one, but I'll be back Monday. Can't wait. 2 to 6 right here. Colin Dunlap.
All right, so what I tell you, they led with it again. Great job by ABC News Radio. So I got to continue to talk about this because it really has gotten under my skin. I just can't believe that we're letting them push us around like that. I just can't. And, speaking of bullying, I don't know what's going on with President Trump, and I am a fan, and I have supported him. So he's at this G7 summit. He's gone after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and now Prime Minister Meloni from Italy, who I think is a shining star and someone who I would definitely want to have some sort of open relationship to where we would be able to get things done together and actually maybe form some sort of bond with Italy. I don't know how much they have to bring to the table, but her leadership, Italy is relevant again. And I just think she's very tough, succinct, and I think she is a woman who understands and has passion about that great country. And it would be nice to form an alliance with someone that we really have never had an alliance with. We really haven't. I mean, once they came to our side of things during World War II and got rid of that tyrant Benito Mussolini, it helped, but they've never really been a factor as far as major trade is concerned or relationships. And I think she would be someone fantastic to partner up with. And he just needs to chill out, okay? What this president needs to understand, he's laying the groundwork, not for the Republican Party, but for future generations. He's laying the groundwork. And if he does not do anything other than that, so be it. Whether it's a young Josh Shapiro or a young J.D. Vance, whoever is that next president in line, I think he has a chance to show strength. One of the things that's been missing from the presidency, it really has been, since George W. Bush. Barack Obama did a great job, don't get me wrong. But that strength, we didn't even get a chance to see it when President Trump got elected the first time, because he was caught up in these verbal sparring matches from the very jump. I mean, he literally was in office for hours, and they just started going back and forth. The sparks were flying, and it was so much noise that you just could not wrap your brain around anything other than all of the infighting. And then he leaves, and Joe Biden gets in there. And let's say this, with all due respect, that was a wash. And I think that was just the Democratic Party saying, look, you've been a great political partner since your days as a senator coming out of Delaware. So we're going to give you this caveat because we're in a transition. Kamala Harris comes in. She's the future. And Hillary Clinton said something that I really give her credit for. She says that Joe Biden, if he would have simply said early on, I'm not running again, this is it, the Democrats, whether it would have been Kamala Harris or someone else, would have had an opportunity to create something or someone, to get some sort of steam rolling. And what the president now, Donald Trump, doesn't understand, forget about the midterms. I think they're all but lost because of what's happened in Iran. I mean, that's my opinion, unless he does what I think he needs to do, snatch victory from the hands of defeat. And with this Strait of Hormuz being closed again, he should pounce on them and finish this regime. End of story. Look, it has nothing to do with the Israeli Defense Forces in Lebanon. It doesn't. It's their way of continuing to play, as I have said, this cat and mouse game with America. That's what they're doing. And if you can't see that, then you haven't been paying attention to international affairs. But unless he does that, he's done. They're done as far as the midterm. This will simply trickle down because what the Democrats will do, reverse psychology. All of them who've been saying, get out of Iran, why are you in Iran? It will now turn into, do you want this man who supposedly talks about peace through strength, who people were talking about Nobel Peace Prize or winning president, who simply could not finish the job against Iran? Do you want that carrying in to the next wave of Republicans that were a part of his administration? Do you want that weakness to continue beyond 2028? We are the Democratic Party. We are for the working class people of this nation, and we are the ones who will protect this nation as we have in the past with names like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I'm telling you, that's exactly what they're going to do. So they basically set him up to self-destruct. So what this man has to do, I don't care if he's at Mar-a-Lago today, I don't care on this Father's Day if he's grilling on the barbecue in the back of Mar-a-Lago, or maybe he's out on, I don't know, the 18th hole at his Doral course in Florida. He better be thinking one thing. When I wake up tomorrow, I've got to take charge of this situation. I've got to get Pete Hegseth. I've got to get everybody in the room, shut the door and say, look, enough. Because not only is the human race at stake here, because listen, the way they are playing us right now, they will go back to making nuclear weapons, and they will go back trying to launch nuclear weapons. And the next time this happens, when they have the capability, they won't say we're shutting down the Straits of Hormuz. They will simply push the button. and they will say, here is our answer to your latest offer. Kaboom. And to them, you want us to be destroyed by your nuclear weapon? That's okay, because we destroyed you. They have no respect for human life, including their own. Any government, and I hate using that word when I talk about this regime, but any regime that would kill 35,000 that we know of their own people who are simply saying, we can't make it on what we are being paid to do back-breaking work in this country. We cannot put food on the table to feed our children. We cannot put a roof over their head. And they are gunned down in cold blood. That should have been the end of it. That's why he went in. That's why you should respect him for doing that. But I cannot respect anybody who continues to let someone who is simply awful do this to us. I just can't believe it. It breaks my heart. Something has to be done. The question is, who will get it done? When I think about the America that I know and the America that I love, if you pinpoint certain parts in history, and we're talking about Father's Day and how they disciplined the greatest generation, who they were, why they were there, raising you, the decisions that they made to inform and also at times remind you how fortunate you were to be under that roof, to have food on your table, clothes on your back, what your responsibility was. Do you think that they, if they were in a situation, would be supporting a president who is letting someone like this government do what they do? Absolutely not. And this was the same generation that when Vietnam broke out used to sit at home every night watching the footage from Vietnam on the CBS Evening News saying, why are we there? We should not be there. We didn't start that fight. This police action, is it our job to teach them? Is communism really going to grow because of something that happens in that part of the world? Should we risk our young men that in the end sent home 58,000 flag-draped coffins? Absolutely not. But in this situation, as we did against Nazi Germany and the Empire of Japan at that time, who were killing their own people, sacrificing their own people, and one Adolf Hitler ended up killing 6 million Jews simply because he didn't like who they were. There was a reason for us to step up, and we did in a big way, and we not only destroyed Nazi Germany, we freed the human race of tyranny that was coming from places like Germany. And now, a much smaller ragtag regime, I use that word again because there's no better way to describe them, that have murdered 35,000 of their own people. The greatest generation, my father and others of that time, would have been running to enlist. This thing would have been over. Do you understand? They are simply telling us, we will let you know what we want. You have no skin in the game. You have nothing to say. We dictate the terms. That's where we're at right now. 866-391-1020. We got more coming up in just a moment. Right now, on this Father's Day, could be a mild day, but will there be precipitation on the way? With that first alert forecast, KDKA TV's Mary Hours. Mary, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Father's Day to you.
Right back to you, your husband, your dad, and my question is, will we be able to grill outdoors later today?
Yes.
Yay.
You will be able to, yes. Yeah, temperatures will be right around 80 degrees. We'll have decreasing clouds. We don't see that heavy rain movement until overnight tonight, and then tomorrow very early morning through the commute, and then another quick round into the afternoon and evening. So it's mainly just going to be heavy rain. May just have a few thunderstorms with that severe weather threat. It's low. Just looking at a lot of rain. So ponding on the roadways, all of that. Give yourself that extra time for the morning commute, and it'll cool our temperatures back down into those mid-70s.
So it is the official first day of summer, the longest day of the year. Does this have anything to do with weather patterns this day that is the first day of summer?
It does not. And as we head into, so it changes pretty much every year. So sometimes it's on the 20th, sometimes it's on the 21st, 424 this morning, but it's I mean, the reason we have our seasons is because the way the Earth is tilted on its axis. Every time I go to a school visit, this is always the first thing I tell kids is this is why we have seasons, because the way the Earth rotates, which is about 23.5 degrees. So, when the Earth revolves around the sun, then it ensures that our hemisphere is just inclined toward the sun, and that results in our longest day of the year, which is today. So longest daylight of the year.
There you go. Your first day of summer lesson from Mary Hours. Now, give me that 5-day forecast, and then we'll let you get off to work. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So today, 80. We'll have increasing clouds later tonight. Still low humidity, a nice day. Then heavy rain overnight through early morning. Tomorrow will be in the mid-70s. Rain will continue through Monday evening, more so scattered showers. And then Tuesday's mostly sunny, upper 70s. Sunny Wednesday, right around 80 degrees. Thursday, we're back into the low 80s. We do have mostly sunny skies, an isolated shower and thunderstorm possible, similar to what we had yesterday. And then it looks pretty good as we head into Friday and Saturday. It looks like we'll have a lot of sunshine as we get into the weekend and low 80s.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a great day and a good week, okay?
Of course. Thanks, you too.
Mary Hours, first alert forecast for her regular Sunday morning visit. We're coming back. Much more to the top of the hour. Rob Taylor already here moments ago, getting ready for that first look at the news at 6 a.m. KDKA. Good morning.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio. KDKA. Sports.
Sports is brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Even Paul Skeens on the Hill couldn't save the Pirates as they lost to one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, the Colorado Rockies. Again, the final 2-1. They'll wrap up their series in the Mile High City. 3:10 first pitch, 93-7 the Fan. Yesterday, in the World Cup, Netherlands over Sweden 5-1. Germany beat the Ivory Coast 2-1. And it was also in some late action, Ecuador and Curacao battling to a 0-0 draw, while Japan beat Tunisia 4-0. Now, today's schedule has Spain taking on Saudi Arabia, Belgium against Iran, Uruguay against Cape Verde, and New Zealand takes on Egypt. As far as the Riverhounds are concerned, in some soccer of local interest, they battled to a 0-0 draw with the Hartford Athletic. And through 3 rounds at the U.S. Open, Wyndham Clark is at 7 under, and in a group 6 shots back at 1 under, includes the world number 1, Scotty Scheffler. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Suffering from peripheral neuropathy? Learn how over 15,000 sufferers regained their comfort, mobility, and quality of life with Tri-State Neuropathy Center's successful treatment plan that is FDA cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free. Here's Sean Ritchie, DC, and Tri-State's founder about one of their many satisfied patients.
One thing I like about having the most effective treatment protocol on the market for peripheral neuropathy is the stories that we hear. Like Karen from Export, she suffered with neuropathy for 3 years, and it got so bad that she couldn't even wear her normal shoes. In fact, she got rid of them and can only wear Skechers. After going through the program, now she's able to wear any shoes she wants, and she's very disappointed that she got rid of all her other shoes.
Tri-State Neuropathy Centers helped Karen. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000 for an initial free consultation. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy. Learn more at marydanston.com.
I'm with Joe Potocznik from JP Roofing and Siding, a platinum preferred contractor from Owens Corning. Joe, what does that mean?
It's an elite status. We earn that by using Owens Corning products to qualify for the platinum preferred warranty. That's a 50-year warranty on the materials and 25-year on the labor, 100%.
That's the upper 1% in America after 45 years, Joe. Congratulations.
Thank you, Larry.
Call JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Think of all of the stories that we've been talking about in recent years, from mass shootings to just anger, protesting, law and order being challenged, all of the things that we've discussed with ICE, the revolt as far as against our government, going back to January 6th on that horrific day, one of the worst in our country's history. And as we approach 250, I don't think we have ever been so divided as we are now. Maybe other than the Civil War, this country is spiraling out of control. And when you talk, as we did to begin the show, about the local story, about the multiple arrests and adults and juveniles being involved in an altercation, a flat-out fight, a brawl in Market Square, which has turned into a boxing ring of late, we need some sort of law and order. And what is happening here, okay? What is happening here? Let me explain this. We are more interested in destroying one another than we are in destroying an enemy that could destroy us all. Do you think for 1 minute that people around the world aren't reading and hearing and listening and clicking on and following these stories that are happening in the United States? And how many of them, no matter what time zone they are in, are waking up or going to bed and simply saying, don't you just love the destruction of the United States of America? You know, and if I hear one more person say, and I've done it, oh, this is still the greatest country in the world. Okay, I want to believe it too. But is it? Is it really the greatest country in the world? And I'm not putting this all on President Trump, because he has done a lot to try to get us headed in the right direction. But because of people who love their freebies, they love their freebies, he has a hard time getting this stuff done. And because of per diems and pensions and health care and career politicians, they push it to just enough to get reelected if they have to be the good guy or the bad guy, if they're on the team or off the team, depending on if it's their party that is in that particular position, that is that desk at the end of Pennsylvania Avenue known as the Oval Office, just so they can live to collect another day. Instead of creating jobs that will give working class people the exact same thing they have working in government. A career that has some stability to it, a good pension behind it, and health care that you are not literally petrified if you get sick. I'm telling you, America, we need to stand up and we need to face the fact that we are crumbling as we speak. And it is absolutely appalling to think that we are letting this regime in Iran dictate to us. I was so furious when I saw that they said we're closing down the Hormuz. Where's our military at? Where are our drones at? Where are our ships at? Oh, no, you're not. How is it that this, as we have taken out 50 of their leaders, and according to our president, no more Navy, no more Air Force, no more military. Their Straits of Hormuz are open. We're shutting them down again. Now, with none of the above, how is it, and the Iranian people aren't backing them, how is it that this is a turnkey operation that they can turn it on and turn it off? How do they go in and shut the Straits of Hormuz down? This is where, somebody tries to slam the door in your face and you're the arresting officer. You put your foot there and say, oh, no, you don't. Or you kick the door in. I cannot believe that we are letting this government do this to us. Oh, yeah, that's right. The most powerful free nation in the world. And what is this president doing? Not only is he not finishing the job in Iran, but he's going after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the only true ally that we have in that part of the world, and now taking pot shots at Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, who's done nothing but supercharge him, supercharge America, ignite the Italian people, and forming a partnership that we have never had. He simply is basically taking gasoline and pouring it over everything and just lighting the fuse. Mr. President, you're a businessman. You understand you need cash flow. You need partnerships. You need venture capitalists. You know what that means, right? Well, who's going to invest in America, short-term or long-term, when this type of stuff continues to happen? Not many. And I'm going to tell you right now, so get ready as we move into our week. 6 o'clock each and every night. Get ready. I got Jason Ritchie here tomorrow night. Lieutenant Governor candidate, Republican Party Chair, Allegheny County. I got State Senator Kim Ward Tuesday night. I got State Representative Jim Strucy. We're coming out hot and heavy on what we need to do in this region to create jobs, to let these data centers work, to put boots on the ground, get our cash flow, because here's the deal. And I say this to our Honorable Governor, Josh Shapiro, to the Honorable Treasurer, Stacey Garrity, as they run for this gubernatorial thing that is the governor's mansion. You better just basically put your blinders on, forget about what's happening in Washington, forget about what's happening around the world, and you better get all these resources that you have in Pennsylvania up and running and simply say, let's take care of our backyard. Charity begins at home. Because our nation, whether you want to believe it or not, is imploding. And Iran, little Iran, and that little government is saying, we'll tell you when we want you to speak. If we want your opinion, we'll beat it out of you. And they're beating us to the punch every day. They have better spin doctors than we have. In the country that created tabloid journalism, they are beating us to the punch. This is just a small country the size of California, and they are beating the United States of America verbally, mentally, physically, emotionally, and militarily with drones. No Navy, the words of the president, no Army, no Air Force. We open the Straits of Hormuz, and something doesn't really suit them. They wake up on the wrong side of the bed. They say, nah, we're going to shut it down again. So now prices will skyrocket again, and they'll make a ton of cash again. So basically, it's a Ponzi scheme. That's what they're doing to us, and we put up with it. We got lots more to say about this as we roll into the week. All right, stay with us. Rob's coming up next with the news at 6, and then Tech Vibe Radio on KDKA Radio. And then we get back at 7 o'clock with the Organic Gardener Show on KDKA. It's your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
I'm doing a porch concert in Morningside today where I'm going to be singing. You want a little? You want a sample?
Yes, let's go.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me.
Perfect Juneteenth song.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
From weddings to office events, let Jimmy Wands handle the menu. Enjoy full-service catering, takeout, or free delivery for your next big celebration. Bold flavors and deliciously convenient options from their family to yours. Jimmy Wands Restaurant and Lounge. It's back in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. Rock, Reggae, and Relief returns Saturday, August 8th, featuring UB40, Allie Campbell, G-Love, and more. Enjoy summer vibes while supporting Cafe Momentum. Get your tickets today at rockreggaerelief.com. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio.
Details at kdkaradio.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
It's back and right where it belongs. Downtown Pittsburgh, in the heart of the city. Rock, Reggae, and Relief returns Saturday, August 8th for a full day of live music on Forbes Avenue and Market Square. Featuring UB40, Allie Campbell, The Elevator, Raiders, Tribal Seeds, G-Love, the Hip Abduction, and more. 2 stages, reggae tunes, art, vendors, and summer vibes. This benefit festival supports Cafe Momentum, empowering justice-involved youth. Get tickets at rockreggaerelief.com. Rock, Reggae, and Relief, back downtown and bigger than ever.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home. Big summer savings with 3 rooms cleaned starting at $139 and $599 per system for air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResPGH.com and ask for the KDKA special.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 59 degrees now, Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Allegheny County Police say a man died after being stabbed multiple times Saturday afternoon in Jefferson Hills. An incident occurred in the 100 block of Arnone Drive. Initial reports in the 911 around 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon were that the man was shot, but it was determined that was not the case. Right now, it's not clear if there are any suspect descriptions or what led to the stabbing. Allegheny County Police are leading the investigation. Pittsburgh police say a man wanted on felony warrants crashed into a Southside business after fleeing from officers and ultimately escaped on foot without arrest. Police tried to pull over a vehicle owned by the man wanted for robbery and domestic violence, but the man, police say, fled and crashed into a business at East Carson Street and Becks Run Road. A woman who was still in the vehicle was quickly arrested, but the man escaped by running towards the Mon River. The crash is under investigation. No word on the charges that the woman may be facing. Well, Pittsburgh's Southside Street Fest officially began last night. Private event allows for those 21 and up to enter at checkpoints on East Carson and 12th Street and East Carson at 18th Street between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Metal detectors were in place at those entrances. A number of vendors and businesses set up shop along East Carson inside the Street Fest. Now, the idea for the Street Fest came after some Southside residents were concerned about the Southside's reputation for chaotic weekends and violence. Street Fest is expected to occur Friday and Saturday nights throughout the summer. Well, City Council this week is expected to approve some bills to make it easier for Pittsburghers to test their green thumbs. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
The idea is to give more people who may not have the land themselves the ability to grow a garden. Council on Tuesday is expected to approve the creation of an official City Farms Garden program. It would give city parks the legal authority to let community members use certain city-owned lands for things like community gardening. Council is also expected to formally approve taking a $25,000 grant from the Open Space Institute to help buy up delinquent land that could be used for such things through a Greenways program to be run by the Department of City Planning. In Council's committee meeting last week, members talked about how some residents have to wait on a list for years